Parents, we all know that reading to your kids is highly recommended and very beneficial, but if you have a toddler with slowly emerging language skills, you might just be getting tired of hearing, just read to them more, as the milquetoast solution to every language concern or reading skill question that you have. Because, can we just say it? You probably are reading to them, like many books, every night, and yet it's not the magic pill everyone seems to think it is. Oh, if you're new here, hi, I'm Moira. I'm a speech and language pathologist and literacy specialist with Rooted in Language. I'm also a mom of two, and I'm here to teach you the language and literacy tips and tricks that every parent deserves to know. And the thing about reading to kids is, it has the potential to be insanely powerful if you know how. If you stick with me, I'll give you 3 things you can do right now to boost your child's language and early literacy skills during book reading after the break. Just kidding. Tip number 1, choose a few great books that rhyme and read them over and over and over until your child becomes very familiar with them. Then, and here's the part that everyone forgets to tell you, begin to pause in your readings at the end of each rhyme and let your child fill in the rhyming word. This part sounds obvious, but many parents are not doing this, and therefore their children are far less likely to develop independent rhyming skills. So, using one of my favorites, Two Shoes, New Shoes by Shirley Hughes, this would look like: slippers warm by the fire, lace-ups in the street, gloves are for hands, and socks are for... You get 2 benefits here. For those 3 through 5-year-olds, it builds rhyming skills, which is a key building block for reading. And for 1 and 2-year-olds, it's a fabulous strategy for getting your late talker to verbalize during reading, which can otherwise be a quite passive activity. Number 2, read alphabet books. You already knew that. But instead of just naming each letter and corresponding image as they're usually written, A is for apple, B is for ball, add an emphasis on the sound each letter makes and then make that connection to the words and pictures your child sees. I'll show you what I mean with Mrs. Pinocchio's fruit alphabet. This says C is for coconut. I would say C says k, k, coconut. Oh, that's a coconut. Quick warning about alphabet books. Watch out for pictures that start with the letter but don't represent the most common sound that letter makes. For example, in this book, A is for avocado. A says ah, which, while common, is not the primary sound for the letter A. The primary sound is ah. Ironically, it even says, bet you thought I'd say apple down here in the text. And I'm like, yeah, I wish you had said apple, because it starts with the ah sound. Number 3 is to read lots of wordless picture books. Why? Because wordless books encourage extra textual commentary. Not to be confused with extraterrestrial commentary. Extra textual just means talking about the story beyond what is written in the text. In other words, it gets kids to verbalize, which isn't always easy, as many of you know. Wordless books are particularly great for helping parents build the habit of commenting and eliciting comments from kids because there are no words to lock in on. In a wordless book, you naturally have more of a conversation about the story as you kind of decipher it together. Really increases vocabulary exposure and expands sentence complexity, both in what you provide as the parent and in what kids produce. Woohoo! Woohoo! I'll give an example using Hike by Pete Oswald. The daddy comes in to wake up the little girl. Look at all the nature and camping stuff in her room. We're going on an adventure today. She's so excited that she jumps out of bed. And look what happens when she does that. What happens? First she puts on her jacket, and now she's tying her boots. Good job. Now she's putting on her hat. And now she's gonna pack up her backpack. That's right. What kinds of things do you think she's going to put in there? What do you see? This kind of more conversational style of reading can and should be applied to all books, even the wordy ones. But wordless books really just provide excellent parent training for those of us who get a bit too laser focused on the words and need to loosen up a bit. Okay, recap. Facilitate your child filling in the rhymes. Draw that connection between letter names to sounds to words in ABC books. Go wordless to get wordful in conversational style book reading. And now go have happy, impactful storybook reading.